The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basically, pay attention, stay alert, and remember, choose your own path. The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basically, pay attention, stay alert, and remember, choose your own path. The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basically, pay attention, stay alert, and remember, choose your own path.
Yo. What's good?
What's going on? Good.
Hey,
How y'all doing?
Doing wonderful.
Eddie, you smoking on that soup?
Uh, some beans, dog.
No doubt.
don't you had an
Dude,
interview, B?
No. So sometimes I like to switch it up for the podcast. Got to look a little professional sometimes. So I got on my little tie, my white shirt, my jacket, and I have on my Johnson and Murphy boots. Can't show them to you, but you know.
You got some bean pies too?
Huh?
You got some bean pies too?
Oh well, hey
Gross.
Isha, did you
Gross.
see the podcast from this past Saturday? I got a new victim on my hit list. I sealed the deal, good Isha. Yes. I spit my game, Isha, and got the draws. Yes.
hey, B, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, we proud of you, man. We waiting on Q. I mean, Isha, man, you was earlier than everybody else.
Me?
Yeah. Well, B was on time.
Yeah.
Everybody else was late. You know what I mean? How was work today? Why you keep doing that job?
Because I love it.
You
I
love
like
it,
my job, but sometimes it's it's terrible.
but you guys are overworked and underpaid,
We are.
and you like it.
Mhm.
Okay, that's different. Why? Why?
I like working with families, and I honestly I see a lot with Black families.
Hmm.
I think we don't know our rights, and when these people come and take your children, you really don't have nobody advocating for them. I'm on the front line, so I go into their house first. And as a social worker, my job is to strengthen the family, and that's what I do before I even think about removing a child. I'm looking for resources and stuff.
Okay. Do you think you guys are like some of the greatest people the world will never know?
It depends. It depends who's doing their job. Like depends what lens you're looking at.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people that water it down. Like I don't know if everybody in your field and even like teachers are really putting the pain in. You know, we always say like teachers are underpaid, but I've seen a lot of teachers be bullshit.
Mhm.
What you think?
I do. I think some teachers are there just to get a paycheck, or they've been there really long, so they reach like the max salary. So they're living. Some teachers are really living comfortable, and they don't. They're like, okay, I'm about to retire. Same with this job. It's like my kids are at home. I'm good. That's your kids out there. So it depends why you're doing the job and who's doing it.
Yeah. And I feel like people can get complacent, right? Because I think
Hmm.
in your field, like you have guidelines too.
Right? We have
So
policies.
yeah, so if you follow the policy and guideline, and you say this triggers that, it becomes like robotic for some people.
Right.
You know?
And a lot of people have their own trauma too. So a lot of people in this field do it because of something they experience. So you have to make sure that your own biases is not in the way.
You
Sometimes I feel like I have too much power.
word that's
Hmm.
that's profound. Yeah, like judges too. I had this theory, like how cops get tased and maced, like in order to
Hmm.
become a cop. Judges should go through every level of prison before they
Right.
can start sending people to prison.
Hmm.
What you think?
I think judges have too much power. Even in DSS court, they have too much power. So
And like you said, you got PTSD or you got some trauma on you. It's gonna project.
and trigger how you respond to a case. A lot of time, my supervisor be like, "Well, Aisha, what you want to do?"
Yeah.
So when he put it back on me, I feel like I got too much power.
Yeah. Damn. That's interesting. I got to break that down more, man. You know what I mean? On a future episode, we can come up with a
Mhm.
tagline for sure. Listen, man, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend we here. It's Thursday. We're trying to find the perfect day. We're looking at different algorithms and seeing where the competition is and where the people are. I know that the weather is nice right now, but it's about to get cold, so we know how that goes. If I could start being in the house and shit like that, you know. B. So, what's the deal?
In terms of
That's your Clark Kent.
I just wanted to switch it up a little bit for the podcast, good brother.
So I noticed you said you had on a shirt, jacket, and shoes. You didn't mention pants.
Oh, I got on the pants. I got on the pants. Yes, sir. I got on pants.
Okay. All right.
B said he got the draws.
Yes. Yes. Hey, Isha, I'm learning the game a little better. I was spitting some rhymes to Hamp, telling him what he thinks. He approved of all of them, so I'm getting up there. Isha. Hey, Isha, give me about 2 more episodes. I'm gonna spit some lines to you. Go down there. Hey, we're gonna go to the Greensboro. We're gonna go to the get us a piece in a blanket. Get a little strawberry lemonade. Get us a big pretzel. We're gonna split it in half. Give it some cheese. Yes, Isha. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, we told you about that, B.
About what?
You keep bringing them on these dates and buying shit.
No. You see, that's just $10 right there. $10. That's nothing. $10.
What pretzel place you go to? That's $10.
No. Listen, Ham. We're gonna go to the outlet. There's an outlet in Greensboro, right off the interstate. Okay?
What if she wants some shoes?
What she wants? I ain't got a goddamn thing to do with some goddamn shoes. She better take her ass to Payless about some shoes. I ain't buying shit. We're gonna go to Aunt Annie's. We're gonna get a little strawberry drink. We're gonna get us some piggies in a blanket and get us that big ass pretzel. We're gonna split it in half and dip it in some cheese.
Y'all eating pork on your date?
Whose day is he going on? Nobody's going on no cheap date.
What you mean? What's a cheap date?
Wait, he talking about splitting a pretzel and splitting a lemonade.
So B, what if y'all split the pretzel and her piece is bigger? You good with that?
Now I ain't that petty. I ain't that petty.
So you're not gonna ask for no portions.
No portions. It's gonna be strictly friendship. Friendship.
Oh, okay. So you can't. Okay. So who paying?
Now, if it's Aunt Annie's, I can pay for that. That's a little cheap little spot. I can pay for that. Little $10, $15. Yeah.
Yo, Q, why you so late?
I hit traffic.
Nah, you know you didn't.
That's what everybody say.
I
When they late.
I could tell by the shea butter on your forehead you ain't hit no fucking traffic.
You right. A nigga did take a shower and put shea butter on too. How you know?
Trying to.
What up, B? What up, y'all?
What's going on with you? How you living with them blue, purple shades you got on?
Huh?
Are those blue, purple shades you got on?
No, these are the what you call them? Remember the dude from a different world?
The Wayne Wade.
Oh, okay.
Wayne.
Yeah, his name too close to Dwayne Wade nowadays, so it's like
Yeah.
I don't really want to say it.
But fuck all that though. So Q is 8 minutes late. Eddie showed up at 9:56.
I did not.
Miss
Not
Nay,
because ain't come yet.
I'm not done. Miss Nay 9:56. Isha 9:54. B
8:54.
All right, 8. Sorry, 8 and B was at 8:46. Now the reason why I was checking, and I know not 9, my bad. All those were 8s. The reason why I was checking because look at our topic here. Our main topic for this evening, right? So that was actually a perfect segue to my first question, the first topic of the evening. Let me get to it real quick. Is this cool to y'all? Is being on Color People Time cool? We champion that shit. The party start on Color People Time. You know we get here on Color People Time. This on Color People Time. That on Color People Time. And they only talking about niggas. So, like, is it cool to just be late for us?
No.
Nope. It's tradition.
No. Y'all was late. So, B, what's your thoughts on the topic?
Absolutely, it's not cool to be late for anything. Out of all the people know me, Hamp know me on the most personalist level, and he'll tell you that when it comes down to it, I'm on time for them almost really anything. I've never been the type to be late. I hate being late. Yeah, that's not cool at all. If you, because you also got to realize too, when dealing with other people, you have to take into consideration their time. And if by any chance you are going to be late because life happens, just shoot a person a call or a text. But you also have to be considerate of other people's time. So yeah, that's not cool because time is money. People could be doing other stuff with their time.
Isha, you're the second person on. What you think?
Is it cool to be late?
Well, we always saying color people time. You know we on color, and everybody laugh it off. So I just wonder, do we think that shit is cool?
I don't think it's cool, but I think it's expected. Like a lot of people expect it. I expect it too. When a black person has an event, is if you arrive on time, you become part of the setup crew.
Bruh. You ain't wrong. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Eddie.
Yeah, man, it's bozo behavior. Let's just keep it 100. Like it's one of those things where you know your black ass did not plan on being there on time. Not only that, they done sent you the invite weeks in advance, so you've had time. But it's one of those things where it's just like, I could be a decent black person. I could be a full throttle nigga right now. I'm a shower at the time of the event, get dressed after the event has started, call a few people that I don't need to talk to for no reason, pick out an outfit from 3 that I already know what I'm wearing, step out the door, go to the store, go to the liquor store, and then show the fuck up. 3 niggas that got shot already, ain't no more plates, and you just like, damn, CP time.
The way you
Terrible.
broke all that down.
That's how it go, man.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I want to get everybody's opinion before we start breaking down. That's how it go. Nay, what you think?
I can understand what B's saying, but maybe God wanted you to be late. Maybe he was.
Don't bring the Lord into
maybe he was expecting you to do something.
No, put him in the put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
But you never know. Like, you know, you want to be on time, and then you come to find out something happened. Like, I've been trying to get to work. I'm trying to be on time. When I was going into office, I'm trying to be on time, and it was a good thing I was late because I missed something that I could have been a part of. So maybe it was God's way of protecting me, and He was guarding me.
All
Amen.
the time.
And so maybe that's what it is.
Wow.
But no, I don't necessarily think it's cool though. Life happens, you know, it does. But to Isha's point, it is expected, but we should not expect that black people are gonna be late. You shouldn't want to expect that, but it does happen.
Let me get Q in before we break down all these whys and the Most High intervening and all this bullshit. Q, what's up? Being on color people time, cool?
It depends on the situation. Cause like if you, I'm gonna keep it a buck. If I'm going to a wedding, I'm fashionably late. You feel me? Like it depends on the situation. But like, yeah, you're talking job interview, something professional like this podcast. Yeah, it's not cool to have an intention of being late, or to B's point, not writing and letting somebody know what the situation is. So yeah, but like I said, certain event, my ass is gonna be late because I got the stunt on everybody.
Whoa,
Nigga
shit.
What?
She got
I got a stunt on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know your outfit fly. You can't just be on time. You
It's
need to
my
be
wedding.
seen.
If you late, you're not coming in.
Don't be late to a wedding, though, Q. I wouldn't recommend that, but yeah.
I sit in the back.
No, they paying
No
for,
interruption.
They
You're
paying
not
for
coming
their
in.
wedding. Make sure you on time for the wedding. That's a plate.
Yeah, I mean, you know how much weddings cost on average?
Yeah, that's a plate. Don't do that.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm saying just about any event, it's gonna be taken by people as like it's not okay to be late, whether it's somebody's speech, whether it's, you know what I mean. But for me, I don't feel no guilt if I'm late and I'm not interrupting or fucking nothing up. I don't feel guilt. I feel great because I look good, and I, you know what I mean. Like that's what it's about. So,
Selfish as fuck. Okay.
Yeah, are you normally selfish?
if that's what that's called.
I don't know.
I
I
can be
mean, I'm
fashionably
asking.
on time and fashionably late, but
I mean,
maybe
because
now it's
like
blocking me.
all I'm saying is I'm keeping it a buck. Like there's black people who are fashionably late, who are late to shit for whatever reasons, right? So that's why the question came up. I'm the only person on the podcast that admit that they be late, and sometimes depending on the situation. Like, nah, clearly it's a thing. So
Well,
I'm
if
an
we're just
on-time
being,
person.
yeah, if we just speaking from the podcast, I'm never late.
okay,
I know B's never late. I'm never when every time Eddie had an event to do, I haven't seen him show up late. But maybe because we have an obligation to be these places, or is it just being considerate?
yeah, that's why I just said like something like professional, like this podcast, or depending on what it is, yeah, being on time is important. If he's
So,
hosting an event, he should be there on time, etc. Like that's just I don't know, common knowledge.
but what about your one of your shows?
What do you mean?
You doing stand up, you getting it popping, right? And we
Hmm.
come in to support, but we show up 7 minutes into your set and you only got 10.
Yeah,
It's casual
that's not a thing though, because
uh,
again, it's a professional setting.
for you.
Yeah,
Like a wedding is a huge to do.
yeah, that's a joke. I'm not intentionally going late to people's wedding.
I don't
I'm also
know.
not going to be the first person there though.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not trying to walk down the same time as the bride. Like that's a different. Yeah,
mm,
that's not happening. But when it's like I show up, it's already probably like 50 people there. I ain't the first. I ain't the top 5.
mm-hmm. Now, go ahead, Eddie. What you some laughing about?
He's laughing. He's ready to say something.
Go ahead.
It just, I have so many relatives with that exact same nigga logic that Q just called. And it's not you, Q. It's irritating because it's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't matter if it's a funeral or whatever, but it's one of those things like they're going to be purposely late for no other reason that they just don't give a fuck, right? So I understand that as I don't give a fuck about your time. I don't care to respect your time because it's all about me, right? Granted, the professional setting, all of that, nah, them niggas will still be late. Yeah, they lost the job being late. But yeah, it's just shit like that. It's just like once you're wired in, like Slim just commented, like that's a hard ass habit to break.
Hmm.
And it don't got nothing to do with other than being an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like I feel like being late, so I'm gonna be fucking late.
And that's
Okay.
interesting that you say that because I pride myself for being an asshole. So yeah,
It's hilarious.
But I don't see you as selfish, Q. Am
I
I wrong?
really am not. I'm probably one of the most selfless people that I know. But I think everybody's selfish in their own way. So to where I'm admitting to being selfish when it comes to wearing a fly outfit and being late to somebody's birthday party, I'm pretty sure someone else on the podcast is selfish in something else in their life. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a little bit selfish. I think it's one of those words that we have learned to take out of context because it has a negative connotation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nate, what was this? What did you say? God or some shit like that?
Yes. I was looking at it like maybe God is sheltering. Eddie just shaking his head. Maybe God is sheltering you from something. He's protecting you. So you're trying to get somewhere on time, and something happens, and you end up being late. And it was a good thing that you were late because God was blocking something.
Didn't you just have a crab broil and a chopped cheese? The fuck you talking about?
A chopped cheese. What had a chopped cheese?
Yeah, you had a chopped cheese.
What had a
Bacon
chopped
on
cheese?
it.
With
Bacon
bacon.
and
I don't
all
know.
that. I don't know, man. I think that he can intervene, when he wants. But if you always late, ain't that much intervention in the world.
Yeah, no, not always late. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I had problems with being late before, and it was because I want to be fashionably late. And now I'm in the workforce development, and I had to kind of change that up because that don't make sense. I'm in workforce development, and I'm being late, so I'm in a different space. But I don't intentionally be late. Like not like, oh, I'm gonna plan to be late. Like I don't intentionally do that. Sometimes things do happen.
Listen, you going to the club back in the day, you plan to be late.
Yeah, because in New York,
it depends on the setting.
Late on purpose. Yeah,
we're not talking about the club, obviously, right?
Now we grown.
there's no obligation to get to the club at 10 o'clock when it opens, right? That's a totally different ball game. But you guys know the situation in which we're speaking on. Isha, what you think it is? It's true.
Definitely is true. If I know I need to be somewhere at a specific time to get my coin, I'm gonna be there.
So you say yes that niggas is early and on time when they gotta go to work and all that.
So let me
He was
talk
like,
about
at that goddamn
myself.
job. And then
Let me talk about
he
myself.
showed up late.
Habits completely flexible. So if I work till 12 o'clock midnight, I'm not getting out my bed until about 8 o'clock the next morning. But when I have to go to court, I'm in that courthouse by 9 o'clock because I know that's what the expectation is.
What you talking about? If you have to go to court or represent like something at court?
Well, because my job is CPS, I move children, so that's illegal. I mean that we don't make that decision; the judge makes the final decision. So we have to present our case all the time in court.
Yeah. What if you're late? Is there any penalty like contempt?
So the
Yes.
penalty is the judge will call our higher ups, and you don't want your name sitting on the desk of the director of social services or the state.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, where's the accountability? It's
They don't
only
just move
you.
on to the next though. They
Hmm?
move on to the next case. They usually would move on because I've done this too. Like, don't they just move on to the next case and then they'll call you back again?
They will move on to the next case, but they are going to complain.
So we only on time because they're gonna complain.
I mean, if it's going to affect the outcome of my job, I'm going to be on time. Like, I need to take care of my son. I'm the only one who does so.
B, is this a true statement?
Absolutely not. 100% wrong.
Break that
Workforce is
down.
a prime example. You know, it's supposed to be somewhere at 6. You don't show up till 6:30, 6:45, 7 o'clock. So no, that's not always true. Absolutely not.
Yeah. What you think, Eddie? Is this a true statement?
I only speak for me. Yes, I like to be on time to places. Run a business, so not being on time and whatever that looks like for me, it's just not apropos to success and a bottom line. So showing up to shit late when it involves money, nah. Plus, I'm always on a time crunch. Like I spend time on the stock market. Like that shit is a time crunch. A matter of probability and math. So there's always some shit with me particularly. I'm always on some time shit, but I think that's why I get irritated by late motherfuckers, right? Even at a party, nobody got to show up to a party ever late, right? There's no early or late to a party. But if niggas show up like 30 minutes before it closes, I'm like, why the fuck did you come?
Well, you know why back in the day, so you could parking lot pimp.
I guess.
I don't know, man. Oh shit. Bub got a comment. What you think? Yeah. This is cute to y'all. Eddie,
No, but we getting cute, so that's probably why we might be late.
Wow.
I think that's like one of that's up there, top 10 pet peeves, particularly with women. Just being late. It's just like that's the same shit. Like I pulled my bougie card. I like to go to galas and shit, particularly in the fall. A different type of shit going on in the social space. Like to dress up. And like more women to dress up, throw on some shit. But if I tell you this shit months in advance, it's coming up on weeks, days, I shouldn't have to tell you hours beforehand that we need to fucking go. Right? Mind you, I give a social space of an hour and a half or whatever. Just like, let me give you some late leeway. But after a while, it's just like, we're not showing up an hour just to go to the shit and then turn around and come back. Just like, nah. I got people to meet. Like this shit it's also networking too. So it's just like, I'm saying, we look cute, let's take our pictures, let's get these hors d'oeuvres, but there's a possibility that your next employer is in here. You know what I'm
Mm.
So
I just don't understand why black people think that shit is cute though. Like I've seen it on party flyers or event flyers. It'd be like 10 o'clock start CP time. That shit ain't cool. Or
right.
maybe it is. I don't know. Everybody, I don't know. It's weird to me, man. Interesting though. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Do me a favor, hit the like button right now and share the stream. All right. Ish, you work tomorrow?
I do.
Word. I don't think you like that shit like you say you
I
do.
do like it's always interesting. It's like watching reality TV every day.
I can understand that. That shit could be crazy.
Mhm.
So, next topic. Is there a vast difference in the work ethics between both different generations? Like, is the ethic of the millennial better or worse than the work ethic of a generation X, right? X before us. So, like, they work harder than us because if you ask them, you know what I mean? They got up at 5 a.m., right? They work with their hands, right? And they seem to think that physical is hard, makes it harder, which I'm not agreeing or disagreeing, but that's what I hear all the time. They had to walk 10 miles to school. All that bullshit they be saying when the school is right around the corner. But, is how different is the work ethic between generations? Do we think Generation X got us beat?
I do.
You think so, Isha? Why?
Just based off my stepfather and my mom, but my stepfather, he can have like a cement mixer, but he will mix cement with his hand. Like he just works all the time. So his work ethic is just
There's
something
tools for that
different.
now.
Mm-hmm.
There's tools for that now. Something to save his hands, man. What the fuck?
But like I'm like, give me a machine. But if he has to do it manually, he gonna do it manually. So that's something I just don't see. And even men that I date. So
Well, is he not working smarter?
he's gonna get it done by any means necessary. Where I feel like someone from our generation would make an excuse like, okay, the machine is broken. I can't mix this cement. Where he be like, well, get something and stir it with your hand.
So you say we'll give up.
And
Or
we have more excuses.
Yeah, we'll come back the next day or some shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hoping it's fixed, right?
Right.
What you think, B? Older generations that work harder than us?
I would say from my experience, yeah, from looking at the people in my family and the people around me, I would say, yeah, they work harder.
Why?
I would say it's definitely different. But I also realized too, they just didn't have like the type of technology and things back then to really work as easier back then as they did now, as we do now. So yeah, I would say it's different.
What, Isha, question, and I'm coming to Q. What if we put your stepfather in front of a computer and say, "Hey, work on this Excel sheet"?
Would he probably give up? Because that's just not what that's not what he's gifted at. I guess he probably would get more frustrated.
Right. So would that be harder than him than mixing concrete?
Definitely.
Do we mistake? So let me ask you, Q. You think we mistake physical for hard?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I always tell my friend, like, people like, well, you sit in front of a computer or you don't do hard labor, but that doesn't mean that I'm not tired at the end of the day. Mental labor is just as hard as well. So I see your point.
Q, what you think?
I think that the generation before has definitely worked harder than us. I mean, I don't know my grandmother, my mother, nobody like that to like really be hardcore on welfare and all those programs. You know what I mean? Like I grew up watching my mom go to work, 2.5 jobs, and we were that generation that learned how to cook the ramen and all that other shit to take care of ourselves, basically, because she was on a different level. Now I be seeing a lot of people posted up on social media doing TikTok videos. They home, and it's like COVID happened and it kind of gave people a crutch to be home. You don't see that same drive to like go out and get something and really make a difference. And people got like, I mean, you see it, but it's not as much as back when I was growing up, I feel.
Okay. What you think, Nay? Older generations work harder?
I think so. I think that now we're too complacent. We feel like everything is like supposed to be given to us and handed to us. We want the easy way out. Like he was talking about with the TikTok videos, everything is like, I want to be a content creator. And I think before, not that I'm saying anything wrong with that, but I feel like we don't try to go as hard. I think before everything was like about manual labor, working hard to get what we need to get. And I don't even think people before were really on programs like that. I think that's more now that people are doing that. It obviously it existed back in the day, but I think just now we're not really looking to really do more for ourselves. We're just like, okay, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna find an easy way out. I can get these programs and that's it.
Content creating ain't easy though. I know that.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of these kids, that's the first thing they want to do. They were like, let's hit the wall, let's do all this stuff, and then somebody's gonna find I'm gonna get like 1 million views, I'm gonna get a check. Like, saying,
Yeah, I guess everybody dreams different.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, Eddie, what you think?
Yo, I can't even really identify with a lot of shit that millennials do. I got even before they created their name, like I only identified with what I know now is Generation X, right? So like for me, like there's no not grinding. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of my friends always you tell me like, yo, you work too hard, like you just be grinding all the time. Like me, like a 12, 14 hour day is easy. You know what I'm saying? Sleep 3, 4 hours, right back up to the same shit or something else. What I will say, like the nuance of being, I guess, in a younger generation is that I get creative with it. So I might still work 10, 12 hours or whatever, but I'm doing less work, but I just keep grinding so I can get ahead, if that makes sense, right? So like it's like Isha's point, like I'm not stirring cement with my hand, but I understand where her pops is coming from. Like there's nobody else that I can turn to. Like there's nobody else that gonna feed me, pay these bills, rent, all the other shit. It's just me, right? So like I only understand that grind, right? And to like Q's point too, like I got strong ass uncles, my pops, like men in my family. I got strong ass women in my family. Like they only know to go get the shit. There isn't like no explaining. Like just recently, that's the thing where they're getting a little softer, but they're also getting older. Like they're not as tight on the younger kids than younger than us. You know what I'm saying? So like they don't press them, but like I do, right? But it's one of those things just like y'all little niggas are lazy as shit. It's like, oh man, just complain about this and that. I'm just like, yo, shut the fuck up and get to work. You know what I'm saying? My sister hit me up the other day. She in school. She in college right now. So, oh, this professor. And I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you. What I'm gonna do? Go talk to the professor. Oh, they don't listen. Hang with the smart kids. Figure this shit the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm rejecting your cry for help, but a cry for help for me was like, figure this shit the fuck out. I ain't calling nobody. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest difference. It's like motherfuckers are just actively complaining. This whole TikTok generation, you can't tell these little niggas shit. But when it comes down to it, who they come screaming to? Who they come asking for help for? I know Nate know. She got boys. I'm just like, man, shit. Y'all little niggas.
Listen, come
Turn the
on,
fuck up. It's like, nah.
I'll play that.
Man, yeah, I think we probably work harder than the kids, for sure.
I agree.
Like, these kids up, man, it's different, man. I've been watching Survivor, right? And they say it used to be like, come on in, guys, right? Jeff Provost like, come on in, guys, right? But now everything is so sensitive, he can't say guys anymore. Now he just says
Dead
come
ass?
on. Dead ass. He say come on in. He don't say guys anymore.
That used to be understood as men and women. Like, come on, guys, come
Everybody.
on through.
Yeah. So literally, I was watching a new episode from after COVID, and he's like, because of days he has to say, "Come on in."
That's
It's so
hey,
funny because I was just
society.
talking to somebody earlier about that, like how sensitive the LGBTQ community is when it comes to certain things. Like it's just like it's ridiculous, and they observe that I don't like have rainbows and shit like that on my profile on social media. It's like because I can't really put myself with that group. Like there be shit that I be peeping. I'm like, yo, y'all way too sensitive. It's not that deep. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, god damn. I digress.
Or not, but we keep it going. And let me just say this: it's not their rainbow; it's mine. So let me put that out there too, if they just in case they don't understand that.
Now, but like real shit, like I was at this party and this
Mhm.
girl and this straight nigga got into it over a fucking Uno game because they played the game differently. Like
Mhm.
growing up, like, oh no, we don't do it like that, we do it like
Yeah.
this. The first thing she do
Mhm.
is pull out some shit about his dick and this and that and how he don't get girls because of his teeth. And I'm like, the minute that nigga snapped back, first thing come out, oh, he's homophobic. No,
Oh my god.
you started that fight, you finish it.
Yeah.
Cause he ain't say shit to nobody this whole time. Like, nah,
What
sensitive.
What did he say back? Anything?
Yeah, he told her that his dick is real. I was hollering. I thought this shit was hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny. Like,
Oh man.
and they called him homophobic for that.
Because he said something against a chick who feels like she is a man. Granted, like I said, I love everybody. I don't judge nobody to the extent to where I'm gonna feel a way about you, hate you, dislike you, whatever you do behind your closed doors, that's your business.
Mhm.
However, if you know what I'm saying, you can't be overly sensitive in society in
Wow.
any realm, in my opinion, anywhere. Like
Mhm.
I used to tell my old employer, I'm like, every day I come out the house, I got two things working against me. I'm black and I'm a female. It's like so automatically I come in here, y'all looking at me a type of way, y'all treat me a type of way. I'm not taking that shit personal. It's like I just feel like nowadays, to Eddie's point, I don't know who said it, everybody's super sensitive. It's like you ain't
America's
gonna
super
eat
sensitive.
like that. You're not gonna survive like that. If every single thing somebody says or feels about you, you feel a way and you take it a certain type of way. You can't be for everybody. Because if you for everybody, you're not doing something right.
You know what? That's actually Q. You been go ahead, Eddie. What you say?
Now I was just gonna pinpoint how, and you're familiar with this, Beats familiar with this, like just having a cipher, right? And being at the lunchroom cafeteria, everybody just destroying everybody with jokes.
Oh
And I
yeah.
could just think of these kids, man. Y'all couldn't. Ain't no way in hell y'all could take the jokes that because we was coming at everything. Like if your grandma dropped you off in the morning, and I saw them, just like, yo, your grandma's son, she got some hips on the son. Like it just go on, and it's like if you sensitive, oh my god, don't talk about my grandma. I'm just like, all right, well,
Yeah.
Stella, stop calling me, like shit like that. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't do that no more. These little niggas, man.
Yeah. The most sensitive thing used to get back in the day was nigga be like, "Yo, chill. My grandma bought me these." Now that ain't gonna get you out of it, but they looking for some empathy. Nobody
Yeah.
told her to buy you them fucking. We had pay less back then and
Oh
Brahma
yeah.
boots and shit like that. Nigga, don't go to the store with your grandma, nigga. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Word, man. Hey, Q, you been on your segue shit too, man. Because literally, kind of how you leaned into it was kind of like some of this excuse making, sensitive, so on and so forth. Not saying I agree or disagree about in terms of like excuses and different reasons why, but I think it's a good segue, into this. Like, I think I should have wrote it up better. Not really are black people really lazy, but are we the laziest? If you know anecdotally some of the people that come from the continent of Africa, they don't want to be associated with us, right? We are seen as lazy. At work, I have several Latino brothers and obviously my black brothers also at work, right? They work for me in terms of like what we do. and I put one of my black guys with 3 Latino guys, because when I put all them niggas together, it's too damn slow. And then the Latino guys tell me like, "Hey man, they don't want to say. I know what they want to say, but they they try to articulate it in a way like we don't want all the black guys because they're not working hard." Now it could be a stigma, it could be what they're accustomed to, but when I do plug one guy in, then they're like, "Okay, this guy's doing okay." So that's just from my very specific experience, especially in the industry, because you have to actually work physically hard. So, are black people the laziest? Are black
Absolutely
people
not.
the laziest?
Absolutely not. 400 years of free labor here in America. We show that 300 plus years of free labor in the Caribbean and Latin America show that. And then every other institution that exists. I mean, anything that exists has a black imprint on earth, period. Right? So it's just like this idea of laziness only started when we refused to work for free. So.
Or when we have a lot of these programs that say, okay, well, we can just work the bare minimum and we can still collect. Now, I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with programs because I've been on them, but there are people that will say, okay, well, I know that if I work too much, that I'm going to hit that benefit cliff. I'm going to fall off the programs or it's going to decrease. So if I just stay at the bare minimum where I can get certain things, there are people that do that. I'm not saying that everybody's lazy, but there are some that can be. I personally think that single mothers, we probably one of the hardest working. I'm just saying, I say that we are, but there are some that will just be complacent and say, well, I'm okay with just the bare minimum. That's just how I personally feel. But
Nay, you didn't really say anything.
as far as being lazy,
you said there are some that can be.
There are some that can be. I don't think all of them, but I think it's probably circumstantial. I think it is.
But those are all qualifiers that get you out of answering the question.
No, I don't think so. I think that some people can be and there are some that are not. It's not everybody.
I know, but that's not like a real answer. It's like, it's like yes and no.
It's circumstantial. Like, I don't feel like I'm lazy. I don't feel like I am, but there are people that have been in my shoes that can be lazy. I guess it's depending on your situation. No? That's just me.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I want to save Q. B. I need an answer, man. I just need to get snapped back. You know what I'm saying?
Are black people laziest? No, I wouldn't say black people are the laziest. I wouldn't go that far as to say we are the laziest. I think that's a bit extreme. So my answer would be no.
Who's lazier than us?
White folks.
Yeah. Like what? What do you mean?
I mean, from what I see, all they just want to do is sit around. They're very more complacent with doing desk jobs and all that other bullshit. As opposed to black people, we will get physical. White folks, they like to just sit behind the desk all day, or they like to be supervisors, or they like to be managers and tell the black folk and all the other folk what to do and all that other bullshit.
Who don't want to do that though?
Well, yeah, but 90% of them are doing it.
But who fault is?
Not really.
Well, hold on, Eddie. Well, who fault is that though?
Well, that don't change what the number is, Ham.
So you saying that because we clock in and out and sweep the bus, they are more lazy than us?
From what I see, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Eddie.
I was saying that's not totally accurate. Even to Nate's point about single moms and whatnot, white people are the greatest collectors of Section 8, food stamps, all sorts of government assistance. You know what I mean? So in terms of like, yeah, there's a overarching control of institutions by white folks. But I think on the ground level, it's like most white folks are average, making average salaries. You know what I'm saying? I still think we work harder than them, but yeah.
I think no, black people aren't lazy. I think we have to work twice as hard just to get the acknowledgement to show our worth. So anything we do, we have to go hard on it, or we're looked at as being lazy. And to B's point, B, I'd rather do my work behind the desk too. I'm not doing manual labor, but that doesn't mean I'm lazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So B, you think that you got to be outside doing to show that you're not lazy, or what?
Well, I'm not saying that either, but what I've noticed is like a lot of them, they don't like to get their hands dirty. They just like to give orders all day long.
They don't like or they don't have to.
Combination of both.
Do you like getting your hands dirty?
No, but I will if I have to. I did yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like getting my hand dirty, but I always do. Q, do you think are we the laziest?
Absolutely.
We were doing good. Like,
Thank you, Q.
So yeah, I'm talking about like not as like, all right, let me explain this clearly. When we're talking about different countries and things like that, Black people, we are fucking phenomenal and can do anything. Even in the midst of being lazy, we are fucking phenomenal and can do anything. However, in my observations of Black people in America, I see where we look to be lazy as fuck when it comes to that work ethic. And especially this generation that's coming behind us. I don't see it to where like, and I'm only speaking from my personal experience. I see, out in certain parts of Connecticut, because I am, around the white folk, where these kids be in sports, they be working in their parents' company by the time they're 7. To B's point, yes, their parents have companies. I don't think that makes them lazy because it takes a lot to run a business. But they're doing so much more than Black children. Now, I will say, I think that the reason for that, in part, is economic. I think that because as Black children, we tend to see the world as being flat. So you're only going to be able to see as far as up the street to the stop sign. Whereas white children typically aren't raised that way. They're being raised to believe that they are fucking phenomenal and can do anything. So I think it starts in the home. And I think that then it pours out into this bleeding community of just a bunch of us who are doing the bare minimum and functioning at a mediocre capacity. Agree to disagree.
Yeah. I think you said some shit. Any thoughts on that? So for me, my children do not see white people as the standard or the goal at all. Now, we live in DC, so we have that luxury, right? When Black History Month comes around, those posters have been up since last year, right? They don't come down, right? Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey, it goes beyond Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, So white people are like, they have some white kids in the school, but I was coaching at a school that had 5,000 kids, 99% Black. Yeah. Right? So you can push and empower and say, no, they're not the standard. They don't have this. They don't have that. We invented this. We created this, right? They understand like what the actual slave trade, you can get more in depth, right? When everybody looks the same. And Q, I think that's spot on because this generation being so lazy is that I'm thinking it might be our fault a little bit. The generation after us. What you think?
I think it's mom guilt.
Yeah. I'm gonna let Shanae finish her point, which she just is trying to go with that. But yeah, I definitely think it starts in the home. Like I said, that's all us right there.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Nay.
I would say it's mom guilt because I know I had it. Growing up, I watched my mom struggle, so I didn't want to struggle, and I was in a struggle. And then it became like, okay, now I feel guilty. So I want to give my kids everything, so that they don't have to struggle. And then it creates a little bit of a laziness. And then I get upset with myself, like, okay, so now I'm kind of fostering a little bit of laziness. And I want to try to break that. And I think a lot of moms actually, and I'm speaking as a mom, I think a lot of moms feel that way. They have like that mom guilt, like, I don't want you to experience what I experienced. So maybe that could be it. I'm trying to break that generational curse of poverty and all those things. And I'm like, I want to move forward and have better for my kids. So that's probably where it stems from, where it makes them feel like, well, I don't have to do anything because mommy's going to kind of do it for me because she doesn't want to see me suffer. But I don't also want them to be mama's boys where they rely on me for everything. I think that's probably what it is, at least for me anyway.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that we are still standing on? Do you think we can still stand on the slavery and all that shit? Is that still an excuse, or is that still a viable reason? Anybody? Because you hear that a lot. Eddie's point kind of mentioned a little bit of that. So is that still valid?
What do you mean? Excuse me. As far as like us being able to do anything, or
Yeah, like they got a head start. Just the regular rhetoric you hear, right? They got a
um,
400-year head start. We're at the bottom because of this. It's systemic, so on and so forth.
hell no. They got a head start, so we gonna sit back and do TikTok.
we are generational curse breakers. That's what I look at this generation. Well, our generation. I don't know about these kids. We trying.
Yeah, nah. I mean, I see. I think everybody on this panel right now has thrived beyond statistics and beyond, that whole mentality that you're talking about, St. Hamp, where it's like, oh well, they got a head start, so we just do the bare minimum. Nah, niggas is reaching every fucking day. Niggas is getting multiple streams of income. Niggas is making money. Niggas is going for the bag. We not sitting back waiting for fucking reparations. Though there are some people who be on that, and I think a great majority of us that be on that. Now, I will say this: as far as things like poverty and whatnot, you go to certain areas and you do see white people in the mix. And as Paul Mooney said, that's just a waste of white skin, because they got the advantage in this country.
Yeah.
But yes, I think on a larger scale, Black people are the laziest. Now, obviously, we know it didn't start off that way, but I don't know. Maybe if we keep pushing that concept of educating ourselves, and not this indoctrinated education, but this platform right here as an example, if we keep educating ourselves, maybe that might be the difference.
Yeah, rest in peace, Paul Mooney. Yeah, if they in the mix like how we in the mix, you're a 2-time loser for sure. Like, what about this though? This still true? This true?
I think it is. However, I don't think like there's a need, and this is where Q's point about being raised a particular way comes into place. If you find yourself a perpetual victim, this is something I have grown to really be disgusted by with certain Negroes, or a lot of Negroes at that. You'll always be a fucking victim. You know what I'm saying? I think there are an infinite amount of opportunities and access to Black people now that there's never been the case before. Yes, there is fucking systemic bullshit, racism, police, all that other shit, right? But you gotta look at the statistics. That level of shit is not happening at the degree and the amount that we think it is. And it's also, let's call it what it is, the Jewish-owned media that portrays us as the evil niggas that they want us to be. Most people on an average day-to-day basis, you go outside, they're not on that type of time at all. They're going to work, they handle business, they're raising their kids, they're feeding their families. Period. Right? So if you find yourself like, oh, I'm oppressed and this and that and yada yada yada, but you got the opportunity to get off your ass and get a job and do something, serve the community, what have you. And there's no quote unquote oppression to be had in that sense, then what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like all of that shit about always being this and that, like marching is not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like every time a Negro is killed, should we have some sort of backlash? Absolutely, we should turn the fuck up. But it's misplaced, and they always put the super niggas in place. Sharpton and all these other motherfuckers to come in, quell the anger of the Negroes, and then we go back to the same shit. But it's like you got to look past that shit. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's the case. I think it's a matter of your mentality. But again, if you're brought up to be a nigga, that's all you're probably gonna be, and you got to break that. That's where teachers and people like Aisha, social workers, come in, and we try to do some things. You know what I mean?
But yeah, marching is marketing. I agree with that. Once you market the product, you have to have a product to then sell and effectuate change. But what about the fact that we do have these glass ceilings don't exist and we don't have to assimilate in some way, shape, or form and
No, they do.
coexist to be successful?
Like I said, there's still systemic aspects there, right?
Mhm.
DC is a perfect. DC is a fucking land full of house niggas. I mean, the level of ass kissing that happens here,
Yeah.
where you see a black person at the top, they done kiss some white ass. A lot of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think it. Huh?
But
Mario Bowser.
Bruh. Wow.
Bitch.
Now that's call it what it
God.
is. It is what it is. But I think when you see Negroes at the
Well,
top of the level that they're
well,
gonna
wait,
get
wait,
there.
wait, 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 wait. But if this stuff is true, and so is get off your ass still valid?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we
But if there's laws
because
in place that you don't control, getting off your ass ain't gonna be enough.
which is also true, right? But it's like if you don't get off your ass at all, either outcome won't even possibly be feasible for you. So you got to do some sort of shit. We understand that starting off, like, yeah, the shit is going to be a grind, but it's not a ridiculous grind for everybody. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where you got to put the fight in at least at minimum. If you don't do shit, then it's just like you're
Mm-hmm.
worthless.
So who is this that got to get off their ass?
Everybody, 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 down to the damn
Everybody
babies. Everybody, get off your ass.
that look like us.
I mean, our people in particular, I only ever focus on us. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So,
So
yeah,
does that go to Q's point then? If you got to tell niggas to get off their ass,
I think so.
hmm.
I think you
B,
do as much that you can with the people around you.
yeah. So B, you said we're not the laziest.
No, I wouldn't say we're lazy.
What about all them people you was firing?
Oh, well, yeah, damn. Ah, recommended one today to get fired. Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Well,
black, brown, or white?
no, this nigga is black and he is gone. I'm sick of his shit.
Hmm.
Fuck him. How you feel say 5 minutes from the job and you still show up late? Well, that's another story for another day. But no,
No,
He
it's
was on
actually
CP
it's
time.
literally the story of today. For once, one of your stories is relevant to what the fuck we talking about.
well, thank you, Ham. That makes me feel good big brother. Yes.
So he lived 4 minutes away and he's
And
always
he
late.
still show up late.
He was on
What
CP
about the
time.
girl that was bringing the baby to work in the carriage? She was late too.
Yeah, bitch was late too. Bitch
Now,
was late every damn day.
what about the people that you had to go help do their job and you had to come back and run the register?
Oh, they got fired. Yeah, they got fired on the spot.
They look like us.
Yeah, they was Negroes.
Hmm.
Yeah, they got
So
fired.
your anecdotal experience, does it align with your initial answer?
Oh, shut the hell up, Nate.
I'm just saying.
Why you
I'm just saying. Listen. Not all of us, but a great majority of us. And it was on CP time, B. But go ahead.
A great majority, yes, nonetheless. Yes.
I mean, because like we breaking it down, right? I think the first and easiest answer is to be like, no, we're not. But when we were in chains and our penalties were harsh, right? We worked our asses off and built the country, right? Because I don't know if you guys watch any like of the slave movies that have some historical relevance. Like they force you to eat, beat you to death, take your kids, all type of shit. Feed the babies to alligators, put women on breeding farms, right? Make the men fight each other, right? So with all these penalties, you better work or else. Is that a valid thought or no? If a nigga can whip your back in, are you not gonna pick the cotton?
Mhm. That was a thought then.
So now, because we ain't getting our backs beat in, are we showing our true colors? And Q, I know you're unmuted. I'm gonna get you in, but I want to ask Isha because Isha made the thing right. Going to court, them niggas ain't never late. You could be held in contempt. They gonna tell on you. Sound like a slave to me. Slave mentality.
Right, but I still think that maybe the socioeconomic status of a person determines how, their laziness. So if in the professional setting that I work in, I don't think anybody in the department that I work in is lazy. And 90% of the people that work in DSS is black.
Well, I don't know if that department is being ran at a very high standard though.
When you're talking about taking people kids, there is a standard set by the state.
But I guess what I'm saying is, what your boss say to you? What you think? That nigga lazy as a motherfucker. He don't want to deal with that shit.
Well, he says that because I'm on the front line. I'm the one going in their homes. I'm the one making first contact.
No,
So
no,
what I think.
I know. But he puts it back on you as opposed to you guys harmonizing and figure out what's the best option.
I mean,
That's lazy to me.
we can discuss policy all day, but I'm the one who interacted with those families first. So I got the first impression. So if the impression that was left on me was these kids are not safe in here, then we're going to explore that.
Yeah. I just maybe I heard it, and you obviously you just telling us, right? But I've seen people do that, right? And I'm just like, there's no need reason for me to even talk to you now.
Right.
Right. Because if I'm coming to you to get another set of opinion, you say, "Oh, you over there, let me know."
No, not in that way, because I can argue if I came with all these facts why I think these children should be removed from this home, then we're going to call a meeting.
Yeah.
What we call a child family team meeting. Then we're going to have a meeting of the minds to discuss it. But if I continue to push and push for these kids to be removed and I have the evidence, now we have to call our attorneys. So that's why I feel like maybe I have too much power in that sense. But I believe that everybody in that department works extremely hard. But then if I go to like Walmart and the people that work in Walmart and I see like a lot of black people working there and no one's ever on the registers or the shelves are never stocked, then I can say, well, those people who aren't professionals, I could say that they're lazy.
I see what you're saying. Go ahead, Q.
Yeah, I was going to say you take that even a step further, like where people of color are not employed, right? Are they teaching these kids anything?
No, I wouldn't say so. Are they teaching them to do what they're doing?
Right. So you don't have to be, a part of the quote unquote system to still be deemed as lazy. Niggas is just lazy. Like, I'm at home. I'm doing the bare minimum. I'm gonna send these kids to school to get babysat and sit back and do what the fuck I want to do.
But is that the only thought of black people? Because I'm in the communities all the time. I'm going into housing projects. I'm going into the schools, and I'm seeing the same thing on both sides.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I'm seeing white people do the same thing. So can I just say that it's only black people that do that? No, that's what we know because that's who we are. But when I'm interacting with them all day, every day, I mean, I've seen more white people, even professionals, teachers, on food stamps.
Yeah, they're definitely in the mix. I feel, but I feel like our people are the laziest as of right now in this country.
I'm gonna say no.
Now, what are the percentages, Isha? Like, is it the same amount you think? Like, when you looking just with your eyes, you think it's more black families you deal with, more white families, or more Asian, Latino?
We deal with poverty, and there's more black families in poverty.
Yeah. So you see more black families.
I do, but I still see a lot of white families as well.
I know, but if you were having, let's say you were just having like a debate, like great debaters debate, would that point be valid, and would you be able to refute Q's point with that? Because if you're saying you see more, but you still see some of them, what are we saying?
I think because there's so many outliers, like a lot of black families don't have that support. They don't have that money that white families have. that I am going to see more Black families in those situations because they don't have access to the same things that the white people have access to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. I was just wondering if, so you think it's the access and having family that has a little bit of money, and it's not so much lazy, it's just opportunity and the circumstance?
Correct.
Go ahead, Q.
So do you think that white people getting stimulus and Black people getting stimulus gonna do the same thing with the money?
So I've had families where I don't think it's based off race. I think it's based off of what you prioritize. I've had family who's still living off of their stimulus, paying their rent, Black families.
One thing though, that family, that the word didn't have an S on the end. It was singular.
Right.
And so just like when we breaking it down, and it's so we just having a conversation, you know what I mean? With 6 intelligent Black people, right? So we have no intention of shitting on our people, but we got to tell the truth, because stimulus checks, a lot of our checks went to go. Hey, this is B's alley. B, how long does the Black dollar stay in our community?
I don't forgot how long it stays in the Black community, but for every dollar that is circulated in the Black community, 79 cents of it is spent by the Black woman. The Black man spends the remaining 21 cents of it.
With our people,
I think it's like 6 hours or something like that.
And it leaves. And when we got the stimulus checks, do you guys remember when, who was it? Was it Boosie was outside of the Gucci store? Do y'all remember that clip? And he was recording all the Black people in line waiting on, like, I think it was the day after like the stimulus checks hit. I don't know if y'all see. I gotta find it. But so look.
Fucking hilarious. That's so funny.
What did you say, like, though? What did
you
you
keep
say?
it a buck. You keep it a buck with your people, and all of a sudden you a sellout. It's like, I'm gonna say what it is. Y'all was I'll be all inclusive, was not so to Aisha's counterpoint what Aisha was saying. Given the same opportunities and resources, the mentality has to be different for us. Because if we getting, I guarantee you, you give reparations in the amount of $50,000 to every Black family tomorrow, most of them are not thinking about investing that.
Because we don't have
Most of them are thinking, I'm about to go get this Lexus, getting all the kids J's. We about to level up. We gonna be turned, and we all taking family pictures and starting for the gram. They're not thinking about putting that money back into something so that they can say, now we have generational wealth. There are a handful of us that think that way. And right now, 6 of us is right here.
And I would say we're right here because we're educated. And I think there are a lot of Black educated people who don't think like, that's why I said social economic status plays a big role in it. It doesn't matter if you're Black or white.
I was correct. It's every 6 hours. Black
every 6 hours?
Yeah, every 6 hours. It's out of $1.79 Black woman spent.
Yeah. So this is this the
That's what I just said. It's the financial literacy. We're not taught that. This generation, like us, we're taught that. But
question. Do you think, and I'm just asking, do you think most people know that cars depreciate? Like, you don't think the people that buying cars, like, people don't hear that? Like, that's not a popular thing that people say. Your car drops value as soon as you drive off the lot. People don't know that.
Yeah.
And I feel like people know that. Like, I get it. I think we need some more financial literacy, but people know that part. Because they know they try to fix that beat up car. It costs more to fix it than what it's worth. People know that type of stuff, but we still do it. And I'm just using that as an example because I think we can agree that people know cars depreciate quickly, but we still do it. So there's that financial literacy. Is that just ignorance?
That's just ignorance. It's just pure damn ignorance.
It's 100% ignorance.
Just 100% goddamn ignorance.
What you think, Nay?
I agree. I think it is ignorance. I mean, we're getting cars to stunt. That must be like a black thing. That's something that we want to do because everything is about a look and a fashionable thing, and it's a status, and that's what we do.
Yeah. And again, I do think we need financial literacy, so I'm not refuting that point. But what I'm saying is we do some stupid shit that don't got nothing to do with somebody teaching us how to balance a checkbook.
And that goes back to the original question
Of
when I
course.
said I'll be late to the wedding, and I was joking, obviously, but like we doing that, we stunting on everybody. That's some nigga shit. So we can't sit here in front and act like, well, if black people had the same opportunities as white people, we wouldn't be where we are. We got to change this right here in order to even be at that level.
Yeah,
Because
because
we
we
could
get
get it
more
100
coins.
times over. We could get that shit every month, i.e., the stimulus, and we still. I digress.
As a whole, I think now I will let me think about that last point, Q. If I got the same, if they had to start on the same block as us, like the same starting line, and we had the same path, I don't think we would. I don't think it would be close. Us and them, us and anybody.
We winning.
I think as of where we are as a people right now, like if everybody got stripped, like say COVID really fucked America up like that,
Yeah,
they still gonna thrive. As of where we are right now, I think as we're speaking about Generation X, had that been back then with white people and COVID hit and fucked everybody up, yeah, we definitely coming in first place. So, but I think this, like right now, us is and this next generation, we're fucked if we don't start to change our mindset.
yeah, and I think that Sorry, I think you're probably right, but I'm just saying, like in a hypothetical, like we literally had to start from zero. I don't think it would be very close between us and anybody because we can do so much stuff in so many different realms. Brain, physical, you know what I mean? I mean, it's not really close, right? Once if we get our credit for the inventions and things of that nature, like it's not close. 75% of the NBA is black, 70% of the NFL is like it's for a reason, you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, now I do think, and correct me, you guys, if you disagree, I think that our generation is doing a lot better, specifically like dads too. Like we we have dads, like our generation, kind of, but then the generation that we're bearing definitely has dads. What you guys think? Which can make a huge impact.
Mm,
Like
yeah,
so, like
definitely.
my children for like that generation, those kids.
Yeah, I definitely see the parental involvement a lot more.
Mhm.
And that's another thing that goes back to what I feel so heavily. You don't usually see white men get praised for being a part of their children's lives, but you will see black men get praised for being a part of their children's lives.
Yeah.
That's your fucking job.
Mhm. But it's like abnormal, right? Like we're not.
Yeah, it's so fucking abnormal that
Yeah.
it's like now I could say to somebody a point that, oh, Q being harsh, whatever, whatever. Okay, so let's say we blame the powers that be. They took the black father out of the house. They got us on drugs and got us out here fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They feeding our children bullshit in public schools. These
Hmm.
are things that we could state as the reality.
Yeah.
Um, it still doesn't change the fact that we are so behind in some ways because that mentality is just it stems laziness. Like we're just not as motivated as most other races to really thrive. And I think we talked about this before. We're going to college for fucking music producing and all this other shit, and we got fucking Asian people coming here going to college to be the doctors of doctors.
IT, all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to ask Eddie because Eddie used to be in education. Did you go to a school with a mixed? Excuse me. Were you at a school with like a mixed populace?
Working or when I was in school?
No, working. Sorry.
Um, now it's almost always exclusively black and Latino.
Okay. Because I wanted to ask. So, from my experience, um, when I was in advanced like AP courses,
Yeah.
it was me and Adrian in those classes, right? And was it brains or was it opportunity? Did you? Because Cause I made my own schedule, so I put my own self. You know what I mean? Like in terms of going, but like, like I don't know. Do we get? Maybe we don't get pushed to take those classes, or is it just more the same?
I think it definitely depends on the demographics of the school. Because if it's predominantly Black Latino, that's what you're going to see in the AP class. You know what I mean?
Regardless, yeah, regardless.
But I do think those classes should be filled more because one unique thing is, and this goes to like everybody's point about applying ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the what we would consider the lazy ass motherfuckers sometimes be fucking geniuses.
Mm-hmm.
And it would irritate the shit out of me knowing that this motherfucker is smart as shit, but he on a corner with his
Yeah.
homies trying to be a rapper and get a deal. And it's just like, bruh, I just saw you do a spreadsheet of some economics equation that I can't fucking do. And I'm just like, and you did it like it was nothing, like it was water.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's also a part of the ingrained laziness. And Dr. Joy DeGroove, if you ever study her work, she calls it post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Whereas some of the quote-unquote characteristics of laziness have been infused into our DNA. You know what I mean? What's that slick shit Slim said?
I think she's talking shit to me.
But yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like, yo, a lot of like what Q just said, like yeah, a lot of that shit is authentically true. But I think you gotta also consider that we've been getting our ass beat repeatedly for so goddamn long that the spirit of wanting to do more for ourselves is just not there, not consistent. There's always in spurts, and when we talk about the spurts, they always kill the spurts. And the most recent was Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? Before that, just think of any prominent black figure that has something to do with the upliftment of black people.
Who you
They fucking
comparing him?
disappeared.
Wait, whoa. Who you comparing him to?
Nipsey? No, I'm just saying overall his
Wait, but who's else is in that vein though?
I'm saying think of anybody else who's inspired. They all don't gotta be the same, like in terms of like their background, but in terms of inspiring others.
Not the who is the who
You
is
going left,
before him?
dog. What you about to say? I said
Cause
think of anybody that you want to think about in their own aspirational way. Not that they were the same person.
so I can get my own people in my head
Yeah.
that were inspirational.
Yeah, you going left. What you talking about, dog?
Saying, bro, cause that nigga, I don't know. Like I had that conversation. Yeah, you're right. But I understand what you're saying. I got caught up on Nipsey. Everybody be doing that. Maybe I just need to learn more about it.
But yeah, I think also like knowledge of self and self-worth and all that shit makes a difference too, because I find that even with kids, they feel more confident doing things that they are or they feel more motivated, I should say, to do things that they feel confident in. Where they don't understand it, then they lack that ability to perform well in it, or to be like, I really know I can do it.
Confidence.
So I think when we realize we are fucking dope and we can do anything, like, and I kid you not, fucking anything. And that's even like, if you take history out of it, that we invented like 99.9% of the shit in this world.
Yeah.
Once people start to really fucking understand that, you're unstoppable. And that's our reality. Like, I don't really know too many black people that, like, to Eddie's point, even if you're inconsistent, you could show up on a job today and learn something and outshine any Caucasian person, any Asian person, any other person at your job in one day. And these motherfuckers could have been doing it for 6 months. Because that's just us. The problem is sticking with it. The problem is having a plan and a goal for the next 6 months, for the next year, for the next 15 days. We're just not quite there.
Right. And I think Aisha can attest to this. Yes, but that's also difficult because now you're asking for consistency. So you also got to think that there has to be facilitators and people who pull that out of the darkness of our people. You know what I'm saying? So that level of consistency is also not truly there. Because as an educator, I know Aisha can attest to this, you get fucking drained taking on the stories and the lives of other people, attempting to help them. Just think of a cousin that's always asking me for $10 or some shit. I'm like, damn, nigga, every day? You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is difficult.
If you're
It's not an
passionate
easy
about it, you'll
task.
do it though. You're trying to push somebody to do great things.
You get
Nah,
exhausted though. You get
nah.
exhausted.
You will, but it's still like a passion. Obviously, at some point, you do get fed up though. But it's a passion that comes even with education, and not everybody is passionate about education.
It's a frustrating thing though when you trying to pull people up. We have this thing, Eddie and I particularly. You try to lift as you climb, but man, it's rough. Trying to help
Sometimes you
your
gotta leave
brothers
people
out.
behind. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. I need to get a new reference. Is there anything else out there that had a final thought other than Jerry Springer? Did
What my
Montel have
thought
a?
is that
He had a final thought, right?
I don't know. But find somebody black. Yeah, listen, be a black man.
Well, I actually met Montel. He 5'3", and he sound like the lady on the smoke commercial in real life. But yeah. Well, I don't really like. Final thought, Isha.
I don't think the majority of Black people are lazy. Your worldview is shaped by what you see, and if you hang with lazy people, that's what you're going to see.
Word. Eddie.
Chris Rock said it best. There's black people and then there's niggas. And niggas got to go.
Nay.
Motivation is key. You have to be motivated to do something in life, and no one else should be making you be motivated. Motivate yourself.
Word. B.
Final thoughts. Yes. Be on time for all you say and do, good people. Yes.
Word. Q.
Black people are fucking dope and we can do anything. Know and understand that to all my black people, all my niggas. We are fucking dope and we can do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think people misconstrue the truth with us not believing, right? So everything that Q said was valid, right? Agree or disagree. No, not even agree or disagree. Whether we like it or not, we have seen too many examples of our people not doing the right thing, right? Not representing us correctly, right? You see in our communities, especially predominantly black communities that aren't PG County, Maryland, right, where it's the most affluent. Well, I think it's second to Charles now, right, which is down the road, right? The affluent communities, you got trash everywhere, liquor stores. We allow them to put any type of stores, carry outs, all types of shit that just depreciates our neighborhoods, and we just allow it. We're not involved. We don't push. We just accept. And if we continue to do those things, we're going to be seen as the laziest people. Whether it's actually true or not doesn't matter because perception is 9/10 of everything. Right. So I think all of that shit is valid. So before we get offended, understand it. Right. And if there's any truth in it, let's try to apply it and get over it. You know what I mean? So like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we out.